Eric Olen, his team topped what it did last year. Now, unless I'm wrong, and Eric will correct me, 15 conference wins last year was their most ever. They finished second place. I forget which school was first. No, I don't. It was Chico State, Ted. This year, 17 victories in the CCAA. Won their first ever CCAA regular season title. UCSD begins play in the CCAA tournament tomorrow night as the number 1 seed, of course, playing number 8 seed Humboldt. Eric Olen, coach of the CCAA champion Tritons, joins me now for our weekly conversation. Hello, Eric.
How are you, Kevin?
Was all that good? Was that all a good lead-in? Factually correct?
Very accurate. Yeah, we're excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How did you do it? I mean, it was like you started off, it was at least 5, wins. It was really an incredible run, especially considering there was a little road bump there, and then, boom, 7 wins to finish the season.
Yeah, we had a great start. I think we won our first 9.
Okay.
Something like that to start, which obviously put us in a great position. And then, we got to what we kind of knew would be the toughest part of our schedule with some travel, some trips to Northern California against some of the other, top teams in our league. And, at that point in the schedule, we had some other injuries and different things. Everybody deals with that during the season, but in terms of the toughness of that schedule and some of the things that we were dealing with roster-wise, we ended up losing 3 out of 4 just for that couple of weeks there, and then, finished really strong with 7 in a row. But, we talked all year about the team that's the most consistent and is able to focus on the things they need to do to be successful regardless of the results is the one that's going to be there at the end. And I thought our guys did a great job of that, whether we were winning or the stretch where we lost a few. Like, our guys' focus and approach never changed, and I thought that's why we ended up being able to win the league.
So you're 22-5. You were 17-3 in conference. You've won 7 in a row. You beat Humboldt by 21 last Saturday. You play Humboldt tomorrow night in the opening game of the CCAA tournament. How does Humboldt beat you?
Well, I think that if we turn it over and allow them to get transition opportunities and good looks from the perimeter, I think they lead the league in made threes per game. If we allow them to control the pace and the action in the game, then they're explosive offensively and are certainly capable of beating us. If we do the things we need to do in terms of taking care of the ball and taking the right shots and controlling the shots that they get defensively, then I think, we have an excellent chance of being successful.
I would say so. I'm taking the over. Talking to Eric Olen, head coach, UCSD men's basketball, receiving votes in the top 25 in Division II. And I think this is probably important, right? Ranked number 2 in the West region. And what we're talking about here is the NCAA Division II tournament. It's not like the Division I tournament where, North Carolina could be the number 1 seed in the West, if that's just how they decide that. It's a very regional tournament. The travel isn't the same as it is at Division I. Do you consider yourself kind of a lock for the NCAA tournament, or you need to win a couple games? I know you're planning on winning the conference tournament, but how does the conference tournament play into the NCAA tournament for you at this point?
Well, I think it's probably, you never know 100%, right, but I think it's probably more about seeding for us.
Okay.
I think we've with the schedule that we've played to this point and the success that we've had, I feel like we've done enough to earn an opportunity there. But that poll is the one that matters versus the top 25, and where you're ranked in the region is huge. And I think, we'll know a little more on Wednesday when this week's comes out, but, we feel like we're right in that mix at the top and with the, top 2-3 teams. And, Cal Baptist is the team that's ahead of us right now. And and our friends down the road at Point Loma just beat them on Saturday, helping us out a little bit there. So, we feel like if some of the other teams stumble in their conference tournament, and we're able to continue to play well and win ours, especially with some of the other teams that are in our conference tournament, Chico State being one of those, San Francisco State, who are also highly ranked teams, Sonoma State. If we see those teams and are able to beat them in the conference tournament, I think that can go a long way in the seeding. So there's still a lot to play for. Obviously the conference tournament championship, and then the opportunity not just to be in the region, but I think there's a mathematical possibility where we could end up being the host. So there's definitely a lot for us to play for.
Is that automatically, because like last year it was up in Oregon, and Western Oregon I believe was the best team out of the West region. That's who you guys ended up after winning a couple games. It was Western Oregon you lost to in the third round, right?
Right, yeah, and having to play basically a true road game in the Sweet 16.
Is that how it's determined, though? Like if you guys...
Yeah,
okay.
The one seed has the opportunity to host, and I think, there's some things that go into it as long as, you have the right facilities and your school puts in a bid and things like that. But we're in terrific shape from that standpoint. I know that our women's team has hosted that in past years. So, if some results go a certain way and we're able to keep playing good basketball, then, that's still on the table for us. So we'll see what happens.
Right on. And folks, this is like a high level of basketball. We're talking with UC San Diego men's basketball coach Eric Olen, host the first round game against Humboldt tomorrow night, Remac Arena, the first round game of the CCAA tournament. Tickets, $10 for adults, $5 for seniors and youth. And youth, by the way, are up to 17, if I can read correctly, and under 7, free. And you guys, I believe in the middle of March, the Big West president's vote on your guys' acceptance into Division I, and that would be 4 or 5 years down the road that you actually begin playing in Division I. Do you know when Cal Baptist, who you mentioned as the number 1 ranked team right now in the region in D2, when they begin their transition period to D1?
Yeah, I mean, not officially. What I've heard is that they would move actually a year before us. So their timetable, from what I've heard, is the 2018-2019 season.
Okay.
And our schedule would be the 2019-2020 season if everything goes the way we're hoping with the vote that you mentioned.
Right on. Oh yeah, come on. Who doesn't want UCSD in their conference? You know what I'd be excited about? not to veer off, but that's what I'm going to do. But I'd be excited about this. Like, I know Big West and bring some teams in, and you guys, caliber of athletes and all that. I that's great. But I'm thinking sports like men's and women's basketball, and you guys have a heck of a women's basketball team too. You have a heck of a baseball team, for a heck of a soccer team. For these sports in particular, the crosstown rivalries and having 3 Division I institutions and cutting down on travel expenses and having some city rivalries, to me, that's one of the things that makes me excited.
Oh yeah, I think there's a great opportunity to compete on the same level as University of San Diego and San Diego State, and work to kind of get our programs at the level that some of those programs have reached, and that rivalry within the city with having 3 teams like that is exciting. And in Philadelphia they have the Big Five, and there's a lot to that, and it creates a ton of excitement in the community. And it's not 5, but 3 is a pretty good number. And I think kind of what you're getting at, we could create a lot of excitement around the community for San Diego athletics in general, as well as the institutions.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lamont Smith and what he's building at USD, but he better get it in gear because the Tritons are coming. UCSD hosting Humboldt tomorrow, Remac Arena, and then the rest of this tournament. And you can visit, I think it's csusmcougars.com for information. But Cal State San Marcos, which is in the CCAA and would have qualified for the tournament, but they are in their transitional period going from NAIA Division II. This is their second of 2 years for that. So it's the tournament's at a neutral site. It's at Cal State San Marcos. It's a really cool, the event center up there. The Friday and Saturday would be the semifinals and championships for the CCA tournament. Eric, appreciate it as always, and good luck to you, man.
Thanks so much, Kevin.
All right, talk to you next week.